They say every creature in the jungle is born with a gift: the eagle with its vision, the cheetah with its speed, and the lion with its roar. But what happens when the king of the jungle forgets the very thing that makes him king? Once, in the heart of the great Sambari jungle, there lived a lion named Kunto. His mane shimmered gold beneath the sun, and his roar could shake the trees and make the rivers tremble. Every animal respected him, not just for his strength, but for his heart. Kunto ruled with wisdom and fairness. He roared not to show power, but to remind the jungle that balance and order were sacred. But as the years passed, Kunto grew weary. There were whispers, small at first, that the lion had lost his edge. Hyenas laughed at his age. Jackals dared to hunt closer to his den. The younger lions began to test his authority. Kunto ignored them, telling himself that a king need not prove himself. Yet deep inside, doubt began to gnaw at him. Then one fateful night, as thunder rolled and lightning cracked open the heavens, something strange happened. Kunto awoke to a sound, or rather, the absence of one. His roar was gone. No matter how hard he tried, his mighty voice came out as a broken whisper. He roared again and again until his throat burned, but all that escaped was silence. The jungle changed overnight. Word spread fast. The king had lost his roar. The hyenas danced under the moon, singing songs of mockery. The elephants no longer bowed when they passed. Even the wind seemed to carry laughter instead of respect. Kunto, once the proud ruler of all, became a shadow of himself. Shamed and heartbroken, he left his kingdom. He walked alone through the savannah, through thorn bushes and dust storms, searching for answers. 4 days he did not eat, for nights he did not sleep. He wandered until he came to the edge of a dry riverbed where an old tortoise sat, slow and ancient as time itself. "Why do you look so lost, lion?" the tortoise asked. Kunto sighed. "I have lost my roar. I have lost who I am." The tortoise blinked slowly. "Perhaps you have not lost it. Perhaps you've just forgotten where it comes from." Kunto frowned. "My roar comes from here." He struck his chest with his paw. "It's my power, my strength." The tortoise smiled. "Strength fades, my friend. But truth never does. The question is, have you forgotten your truth?" Those words stayed with Kunto. He continued his journey, meeting creatures who challenged him in ways he never expected. In a desolate valley, a snake tried to trick him into giving up his last drop of water. "What use is water to a king who cannot roar?" the snake hissed. Kunto almost believed it, but then he saw the reflection of his mane in the water and remembered, even silent, he was still a lion. He fought the snake not with his voice, but with his courage. Later, he stumbled into a village where humans had trapped animals for trade. He saw a young cub, weak and afraid, caged behind wooden bars. Something stirred inside Kunto. The cub's eyes reminded him of his own when he was young, full of fire and pride. Without thinking, Kunto charged. His claws ripped through the cage. He didn't roar, but his heart thundered louder than any sound he'd ever made. The cub escaped, and for a moment, Kunto felt his old self flicker back to life. Days turned to weeks. Kunto's journey became one of rediscovery. He climbed mountains and listened to the wind. He sat beneath the stars, hearing the stories of the night creatures. Slowly, he began to understand what the tortoise meant. The roar was not merely a sound, it was a reflection of the spirit. When fear, doubt, and pride clouded the heart, the roar went silent. One morning, as dawn broke over the plains, Kunto came across an injured gazelle caught in a hunter's trap. The old lion helped free it, though his paws bled. The gazelle looked up at him, trembling. "You are the lion who lost his roar," it whispered. Kunto smiled gently. "Maybe. But I have found something better, my heart." And then, for the first time in months, something stirred deep within his chest. A vibration. A pulse. It grew, stronger and stronger, until it rose through his throat. He opened his mouth, and the sound that emerged was unlike any roar he had ever known. It was not just powerful. It was pure. It carried pain, wisdom, compassion, and courage. The trees trembled, but not in fear. The jungle heard him, and listened. The roar spread across valleys and mountains. The hyenas froze mid-laughter. The elephants lifted their trunks in salute. Birds took to the skies. The king had returned, not the lion of muscle and pride, but the lion of heart and truth. When Kunto returned to his kingdom, he did not demand respect. He earned it. The animals gathered not because they feared his roar, but because they felt his presence. He forgave those who mocked him. He taught the young lions that true power is not in noise, but in knowing who you are even when the world forgets. Years later, when Kunto grew old and his mane turned silver, he would sit beneath the baobab tree and tell the cubs his story. He would tell them about the day he lost his roar, and how it saved him. He would say, "Sometimes life will silence you. It will strip away what you think defines you. But don't be afraid. Because in the silence, you will hear your true self calling. And when you answer that call, your roar will return, stronger than ever." And when he finally closed his eyes for the last time, the wind carried his voice through the jungle, soft, deep, and eternal. They say if you stand still enough in the Zambari jungle, you can still hear it. Not as a sound, but as a feeling. A reminder that power is not about being loud, but about being true. Because the lion who forgot his roar found his soul. And if you've learned something from this story, something that touched your heart or reminded you of your own hidden strength, then don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember to subscribe, so you'll be the first to know when the next tale begins, when the drum stops beating. Drums fade out, silence, then the sound of a distant roar echoes one last time.